Hey everybody, welcome back to H&H TV, our continuing series on the cold case core support upgrade that we're doing to the sedan delivery. And this is actually our final video because the project is done. So obviously we've got the car in the air here on the lift, but wanted to show you some things that we had to do to, again, make this fit in a already done car. If you were building the car, in the process of,
Still have to do it.
You're still going to do it, but you could go ahead and plan ahead for some of these changes. So, Herman, what underneath? Why are we looking over here? What do we have to do different?
Okay, one of the things that I had to do is right here. This thing is kind of in the way there, but you see those rubber shims that I put in right there? I had to add 3/4 of an inch of rubber shim there. Whereas on stock radiator support, I would only had 1/4 of an inch, okay? So that's one of the things that's a little bit different about the aftermarket radiator support.
And I'm going to say something here. That may vary depending on the car too.
It could.
You may have to go an inch. You may only have to go a 1/2 inch. So keep that in mind.
One other thing that we had to do, this is part of a 2-piece splash pan. Right behind it goes up in here, right in front of the cross member, right behind the splash shield. Those have to be removed. They hit the radiator support. Now, I could have cut them up and modified them and used them, but I didn't want to cut up a nice powder-coated piece. And besides that, I think that this open area here, I'm looking right up at the crankshaft and the serpentine belt system there. I'm thinking that allows for more air dissipation when those fans are on. That it's pulling a lot of air through there, those dual fans are, which is great. And I think that open area right there really helps, in my opinion. Some people may not like the way it looks, but don't bother me a bit. Let her down and show you some other things here. Also, this crossfold radiator does not have a transmission cooler. It does have a really, really nice air conditioning condenser that I really like. So I wanted to mount my transmission cooler and hide it up underneath behind the bumper. But this one is big enough, and I chose that size, but it's big enough that I couldn't get it in there the way I liked it. So this black unit kind of takes away from the nice of this, but still it's there. And I chose to put one there. I had to fabricate extra bracket here, an extra bracket here, and then just use standard brackets there, and insulated it with some rubber bumpers in behind. One other thing on the 57 only that you have to do is it interferes with the battery box. You have to cut a portion of the battery box out right in that area right there. I retained one bolt. Originally it had 2 bolts, but it would interfere with the plastic fan. And then I chose to make this spacer and make it look like the existing radiator support deal here. And to me, it's plenty solid enough. On this particular car, I have a fiberglass hood, and I don't run any hood springs. So I have to use a hood prop. So I had to make this special bracket for my hood prop, where on the old stock support, I had a hole in it right there. And I didn't want to put a hole in this support. So those are just some of the things. If this particular issue right here would not be a factor on the 55 and 6, because your battery's back here on the firewall on 5 and 6. Only on 57 would that be an issue. One other issue I noticed that I worked myself around was the location. There was 4 holes right here pre-punched to mount this really nice overflow tank. But if you put there in the location, the tube was sticking right against the side of this. No way to get a hose on. So I moved it down about 2.5 inches, used the 2 bottom holes and punched 2 more holes down below. I haven't got them yet, but I'm going to get some chrome-headed 1/4 inch oval head bolts and put in there and kind of make that look better. So to avoid that, you could either punch it down below to start with or move this out. I like it being down personally. I don't think this ought to stick out here like that. Other than that, I love it. It's sitting here idling with the AC on, 75 degrees ambient temperature. Dash temperatures are 180. Fans kick on, kick off. The temperature in the very back of this sedan delivery, ambient temperature back there, was 50 degrees a few minutes ago, 20 degrees coming out at the dash. So all in all, it's a little bit of a hassle. Quite frankly, for that guy out there that doesn't have a lot of fabrication ability, has no business even trying to fool with this. But if you do, I think it's a great system. I love it.
As far as taking it in and out, once we got the other core support out on this particular car, and again, you can have variants in that. This thing fit down perfect as far as side to side. I was amazed at how
it did. These can vary.
Oh, of course.
But they make shims. It's made especially for that. And the original one that we pulled out had one shim on the driver's side, and I put it back.
Yeah.
So they're right on the measurement, there, in my opinion.
Yeah. And again, if you are just starting the build on the car, a lot of this you can pre-plan. Again, this was a car that, how many years ago, Herman, did we build this car?
2006.
Yeah. So, I mean, car's been done 20 years. And, we've done a lot of testing on it, a lot of different products on and off and changed up. And that's what this car was built for, really, was to do things of that nature. So this was a perfect car to do this on.
Yeah, we had overheating issues running in traffic with the AC on.
Yeah.
With the
stock radiator.
We had the best copper radiator that money can buy, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But this thing here, basically, it's overkill, and that's great with me. I'll take it all day. Better. I love it.
And this is for anybody who's got a question about the motor. This is a Ramjet 350 crate motor that's in this one. That's the ZZ4 platform. Vintage Air front runner kit on it. Vintage Air Gen 4 unit. This is actually one of their early Gen 4 units that they had back in the day. And this is a car this fall. Herman and Liz are going to take it across the country down Route 66. I don't know how far you're planning on going, if you're going to go all the way to San Bernardino or...
No, my intentions are to drive 50 miles north of here to Joplin, Missouri, and drive Route 66 to Kingman, Arizona.
So quite a way still. And back out through the desert, especially in the fall like that. It's going to be hot, going to be warm. So I think we've got a good radiator system in this. We've upgraded this to, again, a car that's already built. You're going to have to make some changes, some alterations to what you've already done. If you're building the car, just starting the build process, you can plan ahead for these things that we've had to change. But other than that, I as you said, I'm impressed with it, and be interesting to see how it does all the way out to Arizona and back.
Yeah, and for those of you that like to build these automobiles and hide everything and make everything look really, really neat and clean, I think that's really pretty. I like that. But if you'll notice, you're looking at all of my wiring and all of my relays. It's all out there where I can get a hold of it and service it. I don't have to hunt for it. There's my computer. But I'll tell you where that all comes from, whoever's watching this. I'm a professional mechanic by trade. And nothing would ever irritate me even more than have to disassemble somebody's dash just to change out a stupid relay. So I got my stuff where I can service it. that's the way I like it. But for the guy that wants to hide that, all of that, that's great too. I appreciate looking at it.
All right, well, folks, this concludes this project. Other than the test run to Arizona and back, so we'll do some video on that as well, and see, just give some an update down the road. So again, we thank you for watching, and appreciate you guys hanging with us on H&H TV.
Have a good one.